Hello everyone, this is Dwayne Golden, and tonight I'm excited to bring to you this Wednesday night. After having a great Wednesday service with church, I'm excited to come to you and talk to you about the auto zone, what it means to be in the auto zone. And as I do that, let's first just go ahead and talk to each other as we begin. You know, how often is it that we hear phrases like, oh man, she was in the zone? Or I watched him play, he was in the zone. Or they're in the zone, right? We're used to hearing all about what it means to be in the zone. Now tonight I'm going to talk to you about what it means to be in the zone, not from an athletic standpoint, not from a performance as an entertainer standpoint, but from a business standpoint, what it means to be in the zone for you. And as I do that, I want to begin with the basis of the foundation of what it means to be in the zone and to get in the zone. You know, now that I think about it, I'm thinking about the commercial. There's a commercial in North America for the auto support parts store, and it's called the Auto Zone. It's like, get into the zone, the Auto Zone, right? I mean, you were used to that. So now, as we are moving forward tonight, as it's just a little after 9 o'clock, it's really going to be great for you to prepare yourself for the remainder of 2020. It's difficult to get in the zone when so many things are shaking you up. You know, if you think politically, you think from a standpoint of just efficiency and how you go to the store, you need toilet paper, can't get it because there's not enough left. Or there's no money to go and because of businesses slow down or stop. Some of you who've owned salons or restaurants or barbershops, you're in situations where it's been difficult to be in the zone in your vocation. So I'm here to share with you the opportunity for you to understand that you can certainly be in the zone. Let me mess with my collars here. Stop that because I get so up, down, up, down. Okay. All right. I feel better about it, right? So as we look at this idea of being in the zone for you, you can do it. You can do it. And it's going to begin with this idea of being in the right mental space. You know, I love what it was like in the 90s and early parts of the 2000s. There was so much training out there from Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, so many great leaders around the world who taught on the concept of having the right mindset. For this generation, it's been about posting and having the right gadget and widget. And so it's a little bit different. And I'm here to tell you, getting into the zone and remaining there does not happen unless you get there first. And you need the right mental health, the correct, appropriate health status of your mentality. And we call that mindset. So, and getting in the right mindset, several things have to happen there. And it's going to begin with taking the appropriate action on what goes into your brain. It's interesting. Reading a quote on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, that's not going to change your mindset. Getting a good quote and then you copying and posting the same quote is not mindset. We need to become in-depth brain feeders. Feed your brain. If for every hour of television, you should give yourself at least a half hour to an hour of learning new things. Read and learn about the great leaders who have already done what you want to do. Learn the strategies of people who already have accomplished and succeeded in what it is you want to do. Learn from those who know more than you. You've got to be able to feed your brain and take action in those areas and do it all the way through the execution. Now, when you're able to do this, certainly you can apply action into the business concepts. But what happens? Because we don't take action mentally, we don't get ourselves in the right mindset, we're taking the wrong actions at the right time and the right actions at the wrong time. And where do we end up? We end up in what I call the safe zone. And the safe zone is that place where we're most comfortable. There's not much stretching, you know. What do people say? The safe zone looks like this. If someone asks you, how much would you like to make? If the answer is, I just want enough to pay all my bills, right? That's the safe zone. Remember the training I just did on Monday night where I talked about the 3 classes, how poor people focus on bills, middle class focus on credit, and wealthy focus on assets. Remember I talked about that? The safe place keeps you poor. Safety, security in all of nature doesn't exist. Neither as a whole can any man experience it. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. The safe zone, you must avoid it. And one of the ways you avoid it is by making sure that you feed your brain. You go back to this idea of having the right mental health. You go back to it. You make sure that you are in the right mental status, right mindset. And you're going to do that by taking action in every aspect of getting the right books. Again, I'm going to put into the description of this afterwards. I'll put it in afterwards. The right book list where you can begin to read and grow your mental strength so you can become strong, so that you can produce when the rest of the world is running panicked and scared. What do we do? Oh God, every country's hurt. There are always things that can be done. There are always things that can be done if you have the right mindset. We want to get you there. And we're going to get you there, as I said. How, Dwayne? How are you going to get us there? Well, we're going to get you there because you're going to be taking the right mental action. And that will keep you away from the safe zone. The safe zone is not the place to be. The safe zone, you get to the safe zone by doing nothing. You do what you've been doing or do nothing and you're in the safe zone. What kind of things do you see in the safe zone? Where there are zones within the safe zone. The zones that are within the safe zone will not only keep you poor, they will help you lose everything. You'll lose your mind, you'll lose your dignity in the safe zone. And you do that by allowing yourself, as you're navigating through the safe zone, you're in this zone, and you end up in this place we call the comfort zone. That is, I don't want to be uncomfortable. Let's just, please. I don't want to. Somebody said, I don't want to learn how to use the internet. I don't want to learn how to use stuff from the computer, right? Comfort zone. Well, I don't want to recruit. I want something where I don't have to do any work. Comfort zone. Well, I don't want to have to sponsor someone. I just want to pay the money and let it happen. Comfort zone. And the comfort zone is a place where there is zero sustainability of anything other than current status. That whatever you are, that's what you will be. At the end of every year, everything's the same except your weight and maybe your address, right? That's what happens in the comfort zone. I know. You've been subconsciously trained to stay in the comfort zone, but you must run. Run from this place. And the comfort zone exists within the safe zone. Let's take a look at some of the ways that we end up in this comfort zone and we stay there. Let's look at the principle of the thermometer. The thermometer principle. As we talk about the thermometer principle, I want you to think of this. Right now, think of what happens if I got my heat or my air conditioner, or let's just say my thermometer set at 68 degrees, right? Fahrenheit, or 25 degrees Celsius. Let's say we got it at room temperature, 25 degrees Celsius. Then the temperature goes above 25 degrees Celsius. What happens? What happens if I have my thermostat set, right? Because right now the thermometer no longer is at 25 degrees Celsius. Let's say the thermometer, it gets hotter in the room and it goes up to 40 degrees Celsius. My thermostat's going to turn on and the air conditioning is going to come on until it brings it down to the comfort level, and then it'll turn off again. So here's what that looks like in the opposite direction. What happens if the temperature goes below 25 degrees Celsius? If the temperature goes below 25 degrees Celsius and it gets colder, let's say it goes down to 14 degrees Celsius, what happens? The thermostat will trigger the furnace to come on, so now I'm getting heat, and it's going to heat things up until it gets back to the norm. Can I tell you something? This is what happens financially to entrepreneurs around the globe who don't understand that first things are first. And what's the first thing of all? You have to make sure that you're in the right mental state. You need the correct mindset. And when you're not there, you're set up, unfortunately, for the safe zone and those zones inside the safe zone that look like the comfort zone. And it looks like the gaming zone, the fun stuff. And I'm going to come back to that, but we want to get you out of those zones. We want to get you out of those zones so you can understand the philosophy of this, the thermometer philosophy, and it works like this. Let's not say 25 degrees Celsius. Let's say you put yourself at $80,000 a year. And you've got someone who has a mindset, their mental capacity is that of $80,000 a year. But an opportunity comes along where they can make $200,000 a year, but their mindset is at 80. So what? Just like a thermometer, the temperature goes up. Let's say your income goes up to $200,000. What's going to happen? Your brain is going to bring things back down to what you can handle, and you're going to sabotage that success, and you'll be right back where you were at $80,000 a year. It happens all the time. You have someone who gets promoted, and they should have been promoted, but they were promoted because they've been there for years. They're not any better, but they've been there. They're getting promoted because they've been in position long, but they're not ready for it. What happens? Because their mindset's at 80 grand a year, but they got promoted in that job to 200,000 a year, they lose the job. Things aren't working right. The numbers aren't looking right. They're not as productive. The things aren't working, and it's the company's losing sales. Not because the person's bad, but because they weren't prepared. They weren't mentally ready. They're like this thermostat that you see here, the thermometer, and their settings are at 80. And until you feed your brain, you can't increase that capacity. You always increase here first, and then if the climate changes and an opportunity comes your way and you can make more and be more, you're ready for it. If not, your brain is going to sabotage what you would have done and bring you back down to what you've always made. Some of you, that's 40,000. Some of you, that's even 20. Some of you, depending what country you live, that's 10 or 20, 10 or 15,000 a year. The thermometer. The zone is so important. You got to put yourself in position for the zone. And your very own mental behaviors, your mental actions or lack of them will put you in the position of where you've always been. It's not going to get any different. Only difference is your age and your address, and perhaps what the cost of living change. Is about it. That's all that will change for you. So I talked about different zones you see inside the safe zone. I said inside the safe zone, you're going to see the comfort zone, and you're going to see other things. One of the things that keeps you in the comfort zone and the safe zone, where you end up with this thermometer issue, is you have the game zone. You like fun. I like to surf. I watch a lot of funny videos and I share them with a lot of people. Then when I go out to the club, I like to get people sipping on their stuff and getting their dance on. All the stuff that doesn't produce anything for me. All of those things. I'm into it. Then when it comes to actually doing something, it's easier to talk about it and be in the ozone. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to have all kinds of things, and then I'm going to buy this other house, I'm going to have this other business, then I'm going to join the next one. Before you know it, you're so far in the ozone that you missed it all. You never do anything. You're just always in the clouds talking about what you're going to do, but you're not an action person. You never became that action person. We wanted you to be, but you didn't. You never got there. You never became the person that takes action. Instead, you insisted on being in the ozone. You blurb more than you do. And you know what you can tell about people in the ozone? They are what they are. What you see, when you see them, that's all they are. When no one's around, there's nothing going on. Favorite radio show, favorite TV show, entertainment, but there's no substance to produce the vision that they see out there in the ozone. Are you struggling in the ozone? It's because you don't have that time. You're not reading and preparing. I love my journals. I love putting the things down there. I love my library. My library is extensive. hours and hours and hours and hours of reading that goes into being more and becoming more. So when I envision something, I can stay there all the way through. I'll create the actions all the way through the time that it's executed. But even you can do this. What's interesting, and I could say it's heartbreaking, but the things that can occur for you need to happen if you're not in the safe zone. In the safe zone, you got the comfort zone. You unfortunately have the O-zone and the gaming zone, but you don't have to be there. I'm asking everyone tonight. Told you I wasn't going to keep you long. I'm asking everyone tonight, enter into the adventure zone. In the adventure zone, nothing stays the same. You're taking so much action that things are always changing. Maybe the economy around you is changing. Maybe the world's changing, but it doesn't hold you back because you're still seeking out new ways, new things that you can do. You're learning more that you didn't know. I told you guys, I actually announced it 3 months ago that I was going to start while we're in quarantine, I'm going to master this idea of no longer using webinars and going live and streaming and preparing for a launch. I can't wait to tell you some of the cool stuff I've been doing. And from a financial standpoint, how that flips things and puts it where you want it. From an activity, from a familial standpoint, from a production standpoint, from growing my team and making sure my people that work for me are growing too. All because of the action taken. The action, folks. The action. It will make things occur in the adventure zone that you could never believe. Did you guys know that in the safe zone, the thing that destroys our friends who are the lottery winners, the things that hurts them the most, it's sad. It's sad, but the things that hurts the people in the safe zone, it hurts the lottery winners. 80% of all lottery winners file bankruptcy. The majority of them have nothing. I don't care how many millions they won. If they won 20 million, doesn't matter. Gone within the first 3 to 5 years. Gone. Done. Isn't it amazing that you can take $100 million athletes, retire them, and within 5 years, they're in the same place as lottery winners? Not because they're bad people, but because the opportunities and things that must consist of growth and production and sustainability come from here. They could be in the zone with making the basketball shot or hitting the home run or catching the football or kicking the soccer ball. But what happens with life after that? All the development, all the practice that took place, all of the action that took place when they were practicing and performing. The singer, the musical artist, the actor, the things that went into their life while they were actively involved produced the results. When those things are gone and there's nothing else happening here, there's nothing else happening here. Will you join me tonight in step into the auto zone? Tonight. We've only been going for about 15 minutes, and I'm asking you to jump into the auto zone. Step in. Make sure tonight, before 10 o'clock, commit to yourself first. Commit to God. Commit to your family that you were done spending hours surfing. If the coronavirus continues at the same rate it's going, and there is no end in sight for quarantining that you're going to produce, you're going to feed this. I'm listing books below so that you can step up and step into your power. So you can get into the zone in spite of your color. If you are a woman tonight, I want you to know that you can be as successful as you want to be. If you are from Middle Eastern descent and your religion is you're Muslim and everyone, because you live in North America, people are treating you bad, you can't do anything about what others are doing, but you can do everything about your response to it. Go into what I call internal university and create outcomes. Tonight, if you have trouble with weight and you don't feel good about yourself, you can do all you desire. You can become what you want to be. But you're going to need to get into the AutoZone. And the way to do that, you're going to have to step away from the comfort zone, the safe zone, the O-zone, the gaming zone, where all you do is have fun and want to play games. You need to step away from that. And you need to watch this now. Here's some attributes of those who stay in the AutoZone. We release the brakes. We don't push it. We don't press the brakes. When you're in the comfort zone and safe zone, use what I call ABS, the automatic braking system. You're constantly braking, constantly stopping, and asking the most crazy limiting questions. How do I know it's real? When's this going to happen? I don't know. I've never done blah, 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 blah. Looking for safety. When you're in the AutoZone and you're a producer, difference maker, here's what happens for you. You're looking for ways to release the brakes. You don't go backwards. You destroy the reverse. You get rid of the rearview mirror. You go forward because of the actions that you're taking. That's what you do. So tonight, I'm asking each of you, step forward. Step into your power. I'm getting older. I'm 55. Stronger than I was when I was 35. Because I insist on building this so the rest of me can grow. I insist on building this so that I could be a difference for my great-great-great-grandchildren that aren't born yet. I insist on being different because I do not want to be described as a color when I die. I want when I die to be that lives are changed because of my existence. Lives are not just changed in my family, but lives are changed in different continents around the world in spite of my height. I'm a short man. In spite of my color, in spite of the lack of hair, in spite of those things I've been able to produce because of actions that have put me in the zone, so that long after I'm gone, lives are changed, differences are made, not just economically, but in the lives of human beings who also can become contributors. That's what you get to do by taking action. See it? Act. Act tonight. Commit to the legacy that you insisted upon for your family. Commit and act. Get into the AutoZone. Get into the AutoZone and don't leave it. Stop pressing the brakes. Interestingly enough, in the safe zone, when you're in the safe zone, you drift into the comfort zone, the O-zone. And what's interesting about the O-zone, you know what you do when you're in the O-zone? You start and stop a lot. You're just always dreaming. Someone comes up with something, you go, oh yeah, I'll join. I don't want to do anything. I just want to put money towards it. And you do that multiple times every year. So your family, who you don't understand why they don't support and get into what you're doing, they don't respect it because all you are is a professional joiner. You're so in the O-zone, you just figure starting is enough. That's what people do in the O-zone. They always starting. They never finish anything. Check them out a year later, they're doing something different. Check them out a year later, they're doing something different. But what about the thing you used to do? Nope, that's you. I don't do anything like that anymore. Constantly in the O-zone. There can be some stability in the O-zone. But the O-zone, you can't be stable there without action. You just can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do that without acting. If you're going to have ideas in the O-zone, you better act. Because when you do act, you end up in the O-zone. Ready for that? Won't you join me tonight in stepping into a place where you can be effective for everybody you love and those who you want to support and serve, those who subscribe to you, those who followed you for so long. You no longer have to apologize to them because the thing you keep joining keeps going away. You can already be in the zone. Build your brain so that people are following you and not the company you're with. This is Dwayne Golden. I wish you well, and I invite you into the AutoZone. It's not necessarily a safe place, because here's what I'm going to tell you about the AutoZone. Those of us who are here, when we lose big. But when you win, we win big. Bigger than most people do in a lifetime. My wins are big, so big that most people, the average human being, would never see that in their lifetime. My losses are big too, but they're just all they are. They're just losses. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started many, many companies. I've learned along the way. But the wins were so big that it doesn't matter about the losses. when you're in a safe zone, rarely, if ever, do you win. And if you do win, it's not very big. Take that to the bank. This is Dwayne Golden. I wish you well as we are doing our training tonight. And yes, it's our 7th anniversary at Ingreso Cybernetico. Why? Because we insisted on not being in the ozone. We insisted in getting into the zone. We're going to be there whether you see it or not. And we'll do that on different continents around the world, whether you do it or not. Won't you create your own ozone? Don't you deserve that for you and the people you love the most? Let's go ahead and call it a night. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. Before 10 o'clock, I want you to step into the zone and commit to it. I want you to talk to God, talk to yourself. I want you to get with your family members, let them know from this day forward, you're done hopping around like you have no sense. You're going to start spending time every day. Before you open up Facebook and surf it, you're going to read, you're going to learn. I'm going to lay it out for you. Books that I recommend if you're a non-reader. Get into it in the order in which you read them. If you read them before, do it again. Seek out to be all you can be so that 2020 can be your oyster, ready to serve you and your family. This is Dwayne Golden. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Get in the zone, the auto zone.